Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to talk about the pilot episode of Batwoman. The Arrowverse is returning this week, so expect a lot of Arrowverse premiere episode reviews. And the first one I'm starting off with right now is Batwoman. We got a little glimpse of Batwoman in last year's crossover on the Arrowverse crossover Elseworlds. And now she gets her very own series. So this is another spin-off of Arrow and Flash and Supergirl. It is set in the same world. I guess it's on Earth 1, right? The same Earth that Arrow and Flash is on. So I will say that, I thought this pilot episode was pretty good. If you like Arrow, I think that's the best one it feels like the most out of all the Arrowverse shows. I feel like literally Supergirl was created to be their female version of the Flash, and Batwoman is to be their female version of Arrow. So they complement each other in that sense. I'm kind of sad that we'll never probably get a solo Arrow and Batwoman crossover episode, because I think the two shows would mesh very well together, just like how Flash and Supergirl, when they had their small little team-ups, they were really fun together to see. I think an Arrow Batwoman crossover would be pretty cool, but I don't, considering that this year is also Arrow's last season, I doubt we're going to get that. But yes, I think Ruby Rose was really great as Kate Kane. I don't know too much about the character of Batwoman, except that she's the female version of Batman, I guess. But obviously this version is a cousin to Bruce Wayne, which I know is not part of the comics. I know that much about the character. And for me, I don't know how I feel about someone being related to Batman. I feel like the only reason they did it is because, well, if Kara's going to be the cousin of Superman, I think we should make Batwoman the cousin of Batman. And I don't think they needed to do that. I think all they needed to do was make her inspired by Batman. They have a good reason for her doing it, because Gotham is corrupt. It's one of the most corrupt cities in the world. And, Batman's been gone for 3 years. Someone should stand up and eventually become Batman. And it took 3 years for her cousin to eventually get up and do it. Okay, fine. I just didn't think they needed to tie in the cousin angle. I think that was something they could have left out. I do like the character of Luke Fox so far, who seems to be like he's going to be like the Felicity type character or the Cisco type character, except maybe less funny. So far, we'll wait and see. Usually, there's some pulp culture. Someone has to make pulp culture jokes in this type of TV series, so we'll see as the series continues if Luke Fox will be that character to do the occasional pop culture reference in a show. I did like the relationship between Kate and her father. I thought that was a really interesting relationship that we're going to see evolve as the series. That's going to definitely be similar to like Quentin Lance and Oliver, or even Joe and Barry, I think, in this instance. So I think we're going to see more of that fatherly type relationship play out as the series goes on. It doesn't make me wonder, because this cast definitely feels like the smallest cast out of any of these shows on the CW. Like, when you watch Arrow, and I know maybe Arrow started a little bit small with their cast, and Flash and Legends, well, not counting Legends, but Supergirl, they all feel like they have these big casts to play with. This one, I feel like there's like 4 or 5 main characters on this show. So, I don't know, maybe some of them will grow into bigger roles. We'll see. This is only the first episode, after all. Alice is our main villain, who I'm guessing is associated to the Mad Hatter. I'm just guessing because, Alice in Wonderland, Mad Hatter. I think they did make an Alice in Wonderland reference in the episode. I'm not sure now. But wasn't her group like called the Alice in the Wonderlands or something? I don't remember now. But anyways, yeah. Look, she's obviously has a huge tie-in to Kate Kane. At the end of the episode, it was revealed. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Batwoman yet, it's revealed that Alice is actually her sister that Kate thought died years ago. So it looks like I'm surprised they actually revealed something like that so early on in the series, right? This is like the first episode, and that's like a huge revelation right there. Usually, something like on Arrow and Flash that would have been revealed like in the middle at the mid-season premiere. I mean, the mid-season finale in December or something. But they didn't. They decided, nope, we're gonna let it all go now because the mid-season finale we have a huge crossover to get to. So I am wondering if the next episode is going to take place, like catch us up with the present day. Because this episode obviously took place before the crossover. Are we going to skip a couple months late or a year later or something to kind of catch us up with what's going on in the present day? Because Kate Kane is going to have to be in the crossover this December, so they're going to have to get us to that point somehow. Or are we going to see some of the episodes flash forward a little bit as time goes on? We'll see. Look, for a first episode, I thought this was pretty good. I enjoyed it, I'll be honest. I'm not sure how I'm liking this relationship drama already. I think the two characters are fine together, but then at the end they had that little twist where the girl that Kate likes is with a guy now, and she's married with him, and I'm like, oh man, drama. Unnecessary drama as usual. I just think relationship. Look, Batman is single for a reason. Once in a while, Catwoman comes, but that doesn't work out, and he knows it's not going to work out, so he says, sorry, gotta go to jail. Whatever. Speaking of Catwoman and characters like that, I hope that this show doesn't just rely on like original villains. I don't know if Alice is a comic book villain. I never heard of the character. I'm thinking it's associated with the Mad Hatter because she's like, but even though she looks like she could be Harley Quinn, but I have no idea. I'm hoping that we do see villains like the Riddler or the Penguin, or even smaller villains if they can, like I don't know, Firefly or things like that. Firefly was on Arrow, remember? So that would be kind of tricky. But they could always bring that character over here if they want. They haven't used that character in a long time, since like Arrow Season 1, I think. So, look, I don't know. I would like to see other villains show up. Like some of the bigger Batman villains show up eventually on this show. Like, what about Harvey Dent? Two-Face, he's probably Two-Face by now, right? I'm guessing the Batman in this universe has had time in Gotham to... Well, I guess he wasn't very much known. He was looked more as a myth, as Oliver had pointed out in the crossover last year. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the villains. We did see that prison in the Elseworlds comic, that crossover that Penguin's name was on the door: Oswald Cobblepot, Pamela Isley, and Edward Nygma. So it looks like we could see those villains eventually pop up. We know they're in the city because of the crossover from last year. So I don't know. I hope there's no restrictions against those characters. That's all I'm going to say. So with that being said, look, this was a really good crossover. I'm thinking too far ahead. This was a really good pilot episode. I thought it set up everything nicely. Of course, I'm going to stick with it. I'm a huge fan of superhero TV and movies. And so, yeah, I think it was a pretty good start. So let's see how it continues. Of course, if there's any big episodes, I'll probably talk about them as the season goes on. Not every episode. I used to do episode by episode reviews, but I don't anymore. I'll definitely review the final... I'll review the whole season as a whole once the season ends. But and most likely I'll review the crossover. But until then, I guess that's it. So, guys, comment below. Did you see Batwoman, and what did you think of it? And yeah, leave down your comments below. I enjoy seeing what other people think. I'm hearing this episode is getting a lot of mixed reactions from people. Some people are really liking it, and others are hating on it. I saw on IMDb it has a pretty low score, which I was like surprised about. I'm like, man, 5.0 out of 10 on IMDb, really? I gave it an 8 personally. I thought it was a good episode. I don't know what people were expecting, but it's a Batwoman episode, and it delivered on what it promised, I thought. And I feel like since people like Arrow still, people would like Batwoman too. So I don't know. So comment below. I'm curious to know what other people thought about this. And like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, take care.